Hi, my name is Rabbi Dunner. Welcome to my Erev Shabbos Torah this week for Parshat Tazria. Thank you so much to Orly Sitowitz and Eve Sitowitz for sponsoring this Torah in memory of their wonderful dear mother, my friend Myrtle Sitowitz, Zichrona Livracha, whose yahrzeit is on Rosh Chodesh Nisan. Myrtle was such a wonderful lady, British like me. We miss her so much. May her neshama have an aliyah, and may we all be zocher to see Tchias HaMesim. Parshat Tazria is not the easiest sedra in which to find a Torah that can inspire. Tazria contains a bunch of laws and rules and regulations and details and more details about people who are suffering from a long extinct illness called tzara'at, which is usually mistranslated as leprosy, but that's not what it was. Tzara'at happened to people who had done something wrong, an avera, a sin, and they needed to do teshuvah. The problem was they weren't doing teshuvah. They weren't repenting. They were just going on with their lives as if nothing ever happened. Maybe they didn't even realize that they'd done something wrong. They never paused to reflect on their actions, so they didn't think they needed to do teshuvah. But then they got tzara'at. Suddenly, there were these strange blotches on their skin, or on their clothes, or on the walls of their home. Now they needed to do something about their problem. The Torah says that when someone realized that they had tzara'at, v'huva el Aharon HaKohen, Oil achad mibanov hakohanim. The situation should be brought to Aaron the priest or to one of his sons, the priests. How strange. Why does the Torah need to say that tzara'at needs to be brought to Aaron or to one of his sons? It could just say, V'huva el achad me'hakohanim or V'huva el hakohen. Why does the pasuk need to mention that the tzara'at can be brought to Aaron or to one of his sons? It's strange, right? I have an answer for you. It can be found in the sefer of one of the most beloved and respected rabbis of the 20th century, Rav Zalman Sorotzkin. His sefer is called Oznayim LaTorah, which means ears for the Torah. Do you know what that means? My ears are constantly listening to every word of the Torah so that I don't miss a beat, I don't miss a message, I don't miss a nuance. Oznayim LaTorah, I catch everything that there is to hear. Rav Sorotzkin was the son of a rabbi and the son-in-law of a rabbi. His father-in-law was Rabbi Gordon, the Rosh Hashiva of Telz, who died suddenly in London in 1910 and was buried there, but that's another story for another time. Rav Sorotzkin was initially the Rav in a place called Zettel, which was where the Chofetz Chaim was born, and after 1930 he was the Rav of Lutsk until the Second World War, when he managed to escape and get to Mandate Palestine. From that time on, he became the most senior rabbi of the Agudas Yisrael organization. He was the chairman of the Me'etzes Gedolei HaTorah, Chinuch Atzmai, and the Vadei Yeshivas. And through his hard work, he managed to coordinate the re-establishment of religious life for the Jewish people in the aftermath of the Holocaust. Rav Sorotzkin offers a powerful answer to our question about Aaron and his sons being mentioned in the pasuk that deals with how one should begin the process if one has tzara'at. The main reason for tzara'at, although there are several others mentioned in the Gemara in Erechin Tezayin Amud Aleph, but the main reason is Lashon Hara. If someone speaks Lashon Hara consistently and with no filter, if they mercilessly slander others and disparage others in private and in public, they will probably end up with tzara'at. But the thing is, with Lashon Hara, says Rav Sorotzkin, is that it usually begins quite innocently. You say something bad about the guy at the till, the checkout in your grocery store, or the guy you walk past in the street, maybe to get a laugh or to feel a bit superior. That's how it starts. But it never ends there. Lashon Hara is a progressive problem. It escalates. And before you know it, you're disparaging great people and saying terrible things about them. And then suddenly, you've got tzara'at. And only the Kohen can diagnose you and sort you out. I'm only going to the Kohen Gadol, you say. I'm the greatest person, so I need to go to the greatest and the best to get rid of this tzara'at. But maybe, when it's an ordinary illness, that's the right approach, to go to the best doctor. But when it's tzara'at, if that's your approach, you miss the point. Because truthfully, Aaron's children are just the same as him. And you need to realize that. And you also need to realize that you are just the same as everyone else as well. There is a tendency to say the leaders of the last generation were much greater than the leaders of today. But that's just an excuse to mock the current generation of leaders. The Torah wants to teach us, says Rav Sorotzkin, that your leaders are your leaders, and they are the ones who you have to go to for guidance and for help when your life is going off the rails. Rav Sorotzkin wasn't just saying this randomly. He lived at a time when the previous generation of Gedolei Torah had been killed, and he was writing his Perush, his commentary, for the next generation of Bnei Torah, who would need inspiration once he was gone and his colleagues were gone. Don't lose hope when you don't have Aaron HaKohen, he was saying. It's okay. The Torah tells us that B'huva el Aaron HaKohen, oy el echod mi bonav HaKohenim. In the absence of Aaron HaKohen, you'll have Aaron's sons, the priests, and they will take his place. I don't know about you, but I find that heartwarming and inspirational, a rare gem plucked from Parshat Tazria. Amazing. Shabbat Shalom. Thank you so much for watching. Good Shabbos, good Shabbos.